If you're craving some horror games to play with a friend or other people online, then this is for you. Hey warriors, I'm Ben, and today on Android Gamespot we will talk about the top 7 online horror games on Android and iOS. And as Halloween is around the corner, I would love to hear what your favorite Halloween costume is down in the comment section. And just a quick reminder before we begin, I publish new videos every week, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for more epic content. Number 7. Dead by Daylight. The original Dead by Daylight came out in 2016 and brought an exciting twist to the horror genre. A real-time multiplayer game where 4 players get to face off against one killer controlled by the 5th player, and the mobile version was released during late 2019. If you're new to the game, as humans, your one goal is to escape the level. To do so, you need to either power the generators to open the main gate or survive long enough until you find the secret hatch. On the other side of the scale, you get to play as the killer, and you need to stop the humans from escaping by taking down as many as possible and maybe even stick them on a hook for some demon sacrifice thingy. Visually, DVD mobile port disappoints big times. The graphics look, what's the word? Horrible, no pun intended. It's rough around the edges, the monster design are handicapped by low texture models and bugged in-game lighting that either makes the goal appear totally flat or over the top bright, and I mean, come on. I'm not saying that the game must look as good as the PC version, which doesn't even look that great to begin with, but this mobile port could have definitely looked better is all what I'm saying. The controls aren't exactly this game's strong point either. Turning and maneuvering as a human can get tricky, but it gets really annoying when playing as the hunter, when I lose my prey thanks to running into a wall or choppy animations. Reasons that just should never be reasons why you fail your goal in any given game. Eventually, as you play more and more of the game, you will kinda get to tolerate these issues, but that doesn't make them less annoying, and the whole slow and laggy at times gameplay mechanics really put a nail in the coffin of what could have been a really fun port. I'm still hoping for a miraculous patch that will fix all that, but for the time being, and if you're a fan of the genre, there is better, and it's coming up later in this video. Number 6. Dead Plague. Developed by the Chinese studio Gamespot, Dead Plague is an action-packed zombie shooter that came out on Android and iOS a couple of years ago, and in this game, a deadly plague virus pandemic has turned the world into a dead zone full of zombies. And the story goes as a secret research center leaked a lethal virus called Dead Plague, and it spread out like wildfire. Thankfully, BioCorp, an organization trying to prevent the virus from spreading, assigns you to their strike team, and your ultimate goal is to work in the dangerous infected areas to collect DNA so that a cure can be made. In Dead Plague, you're in the shoes of an Indiana Jones looking type of dude, and with the help of your best friend, a submachine gun, you're to fight hordes of zombies and complete various timed quests. The camera angle is top-down view and the 3D visuals look great, especially with the dynamic weather, realistic lighting, vibrant colors and detailed texture. And as for the controls, you use the twin stick style with the left side of the screen controlling movement and the right side aiming and firing. Enemies come in the form of standard runner zombies, special zombies that look like the Left 4 Dead bloaters, and also occasional bosses. There's a lot of weapons that you can use. We're talking rifles, machine guns, grenades, mines and more. You will need to keep a lookout for ammunition boxes, but thankfully these are quite regular, so you never feel that the game is punishing you for not spending real money. On top of the single player story campaign, which is decent on its own, the game offers up to 4 players online co-op, and this can be loads of fun with friends. This one is a must try if you're curious. Number 5. Murderer Online. Murderer Online is a real-time online multiplayer game that follows a similar concept to Dead by Daylight. You can play either as a murderer or a fugitive, and the settings take place in a hospital. As a fugitive, you must run and hide from the killer, and you can use the view jacking function, which lets you see from the point of view of the murderer, and use the heart color option, which changes based on how far or close the killer is getting. And you can also become invisible for a short period of time. 3 very neat features, I must say, and if you're using either a headset or earphones, You will also be able to tell from the sound of the footsteps if it's time to run as fast as you can, since the sound gets louder when the killer is closing in on you. When you play as the murderer, you have up to 10 characters to pick from, and you can improve your attack and speed with points you earn by killing your victims. These will allow to say catch fugitives faster or compete in Rumble mode, a face-to-face contest to find out who is the strongest murderer. All in all, Murderer Online hits a lot of the right points, good graphics and a realistic atmosphere, and it's very accessible even to casual players. Give it a shot if you like. Number 4. Unkilled. Coming to us by Madfinger Games, who are no strangers to zombie slaying games, Unkilled, which in my opinion is the spiritual sequel to the Dead Trigger series, is an FPS action shooter with a single player campaign, PvP and co-op mode. The story taking place in New York City is forgettable, but the game truly shines in the graphics department and the controls. Visually, this is a very pretty game. Not that I think zombies are pretty, but the high resolution, real-time shadows, high polygon characters, and even shooting a zombie in the face gives room to some fun-looking effects. Controls-wise, the default control scheme is very simple. Drag a thumb around the left of the screen to move, and the one on the right to aim your weapon. When your crosshair is aimed at an enemy, the gun auto-fires. It makes up for a smooth gameplay experience on mobile, especially within an FPS, but what's even better is that the game supports a wide range of gamepads. With that in mind, running through the streets of New York with a friend, gunning down the unwelcomed visitors, playing on your gamepad or even without, is a ton of fun. Number 3. Horrorfield. Horrorfield, developed by Russian game studio Skytech, is a multiplayer survival horror game that puts up the good old hide-and-seek recipe. 4 survivors have to work together in order to escape the grasp of the psychotic maniac killer. The goal, if you play as a survivor, is to repair the broken generators which allow you and your team to exit the gate and escape. As a psycho, on the other hand, well, you hunt down the survivors and catch them before they manage to escape. There are 7 survivors to pick from a basketball player that can run fast, to a doctor that can heal herself, to an engineer that can fix the generators much faster, and so on. Each character has a special ability. Teamwork here is important in order to escape the psycho, as it's the overpowered character in the game. So as a psycho, you can pick from 4 different options. Butcher, who can break the generators, Cultist, who is obsessed with sacrificing the survivors, Ghost, who can pass through the walls, and Beast, a werewolf monster that can turn into a vicious wolf and quickly catch his prey. As you play, you'll be able to level up the characters and unlock new abilities. Visually, the game looks good, the animations are well done, and the game is well optimized, although I just have to say that I don't think the top-down view camera is the best angle for this type of games. You just can't see who is coming at you from which direction, and I think that kinda handicaps the game. Still worth trying though. Number 2. Dead Trigger 2. Although it was released in 2013, Dead Trigger 2 is still being downloaded today and has over 100 million downloads to date. The game has decent graphics and tons, and I mean tons of content to sink your teeth into, from the 10 regions of the single player campaign, global missions and side quests. The game has a ton of weapons and customizing, and as for online play, there are many tournaments like the duo tournaments where you pick a side and fight for your team, headshots where the one with the most headshots win, or the Gandhi PvP mode where you need to survive as long as possible without killing a single zombie. Tons of fun is still to be had playing Dead Trigger 2 even today. Number 1. Identity 5. Identity 5 takes the scary burly man chasing after small scrawny people concept and actually does it right, making for a very fun horror game on mobile, and the best one in my opinion. Once you get through the intriguing tutorial section, which I think it's way too long, you will finally be able to enjoy what this game has to offer in terms of multiplayer action. When you play as a survivor, you must dash between 5 marked typewriters to fully decode. you're decoding the password to the main gate that you need to unlock to escape, and while you're busy decoding, you will have to also avoid the hunter, who is much faster than you. You can interact with the environment like pushing stuff over to block the hunter's path and jump over ledges the hunter cannot. You can also loot chests and hide in lockers. As a hunter, your goal is to find the survivors, attack them and send them out of the game. As simple as that. There is skill trees to level up, costumes and skins to earn, and abilities to master. Pretty much everything you need to keep playing, and you will be having fun while doing so, and I feel that's the best thing that can be said about this game. Oh, and if you're familiar to this type of games, do yourself a favor and just skip the tutorial. And that sums up the top 7 online horror games on mobile. And I'm curious, do you guys agree with the ranking? Have you or will you play any of these games? Let's continue the discussion in the comments down below. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, your likes are very much appreciated, and subscribing is a good idea if you haven't yet, as I make new videos like this every week. Also, special thanks to my Patreon and YouTube supporters, and if you also want to support the channel to keep getting better, you can sign up for a membership on YouTube or Patreon and get access to plenty of awesome rewards like behind the scenes or video shoutouts as a bonus. Links to both are in the description. Once again, I'm Ben, thank you warriors for watching, and I'll see you next time, right here on Android Gamespot. Stay epic!